Look, part 3 is about to start, dear viewers. Why not click subscribe? Come on, click it, or else I may have to use Palm Thunder. Little Peng, possessed by the Black Spirit, moved strangely forward. When Ying Zhao saw the strange behavior of Little Peng, she was about to say something. She was then controlled by the dark aura around her. Just as the Black Spirit was about to take control of the Hoarfrost Ma head, a pair of hands reached out from the darkness. Luo Xie appeared and covered the eyes of the two directly. He casually said, "You guys are really careless." As soon as the words fell, she directly cast Daoist spells. In an instant, thunder poured down. Golden lightning quickly enveloped several people. Just a moment later, Little Peng and Ying Zhao woke up from being possessed. Looking at their own hands, Little Peng said with lingering fear, "This Black Spirit really gets everywhere. But it seems like we're in the right place. Senior Mentor Xie is truly remarkable." Ying Zhao on the side expressed worry, saying, "I wonder how things are going with Team Leader Shu and Director Tan over there." The scene changed. Jixing Shu and a few others arrived at a cave entrance. After discussing, they decided to go in and explore together with Yun Tan. After leaving someone behind to guard the cave entrance, the group walked straight in. However, unexpectedly, Jixing Shu and the others had not gone far when the person guarding the cave entrance was then attacked. Upon entering the cave, Jixing Shu remained vigilant. However, they had not gone far when they encountered an ambush by a mysterious person. At a critical moment, Jixing Shu used the ceremonial artifact's bamboo core brush to block this powerful blow. Unfortunately, the companion who was traveling with them was controlled. Just as Jixing Shu was preparing to fight again, the ground unexpectedly began to shake. Due to the intense previous battles, the battle caused the ground to collapse. A shower of debris fell. Jixing Shu struggled to climb out of the collapse. Although he encountered a collapse, fortunately, he did not suffer major injuries. After a short search, he unexpectedly found a person standing not far away. When Jixing Shu approached, he discovered that it was Feng Yu whom he had been looking for all along. At this moment, Feng Yu had half of the yin-yang fish hanging around his neck, and an unknown weapon was inserted into his chest. The scene in front of Jixing Shu startled him. He hurried forward to inspect. He then discovered that there was a prominent evil aura of the Black Spirit inside Feng Yu's body, obviously possessing Feng Yu. However, it seemed to be sealed in some way. Just then, during the examination, Jixing Shu discovered that there were words on the ground nearby. What was written was, "Yun Tan." This sparked a realization in him. However, before Jixing Shu could react, he was kicked to the ground by someone behind him. The person who approached was Yun Tan, who revealed the ceremonial artifact's mysterious light mirror. She continued to say in her mouth, "Thank you to Senior Mentor Xie for helping to find the general direction. Once I get closer, it'll be easier for me to find." And Jixing Shu, who was injured on the side, angrily said, "I didn't expect the real traitor to be you. Feng Yu has never betrayed anyone. The real traitor is you." Facing Jixing Shu's inquiry, Yun Tan calmly said, "I have always admired Feng Yu, and you are also talented. But I can't let you ruin my plans." It turns out that not long ago, when Feng Yu was searching for Black Spirit, he discovered someone was refining and absorbing the malevolent chi of the Black Spirit. After entering the room, he discovered that the one attempting to refine the Black Spirit was none other than Yun Tan. He tried to stop Yun Tan's actions. Feng Yu forcefully stopped Yun Tan's actions using a flying sword. At the same time, he proactively touched the Black Spirit to possess it. This angered Yun Tan, who then directly went to kill Feng Yu. Feng Yu, who was seriously injured, escaped from the room. However, he discovered that all his former colleagues had been controlled by the Black Spirit. In an unavoidable situation, Feng Yu went on a killing spree. After killing everyone, he fled alone to a remote cave. To seal the Black Spirit inside him and reveal some truths, Feng Yu left Yun Tan's name on the ground. Then, he used a sharp blade to stab into his own body. He completely sealed the black spirit. The scene changes. Inside the cave, Yuntan looks at Fengyu in excitement and says, "I must obtain the power of the black spirit." After saying that, he reaches out and grips the sword handle, preparing to pull out the sword that seals the black spirit. At this critical moment, Luo Xie and the others arrive just in time. Xingzou, who witnessed the arrival of the Patriarch, also gathered and located the main backbone. Finally, they can stop Yuntan's evil plan. At this moment, Yuntan did not panic. He just asked in confusion, "You actually came so quickly?" Upon hearing Yuntan's confusion, Luo Xie casually said, "From the beginning, I felt that your connection with the Black Spirit was unexpectedly deep. However, you were not possessed by the Black Spirit. So I didn't reveal it right away. I just wanted to see what you had in mind." The moment this sentence was uttered, even the members of the nearby investigation bureau couldn't help but ask in confusion, "What is the reason behind this after all?" At this moment, Yuntan said somewhat crazily, "You are still young. Even with a low cultivation level, you may not feel much. However, as you grow older, it becomes increasingly difficult for your cultivation level stage to continue to improve. Anyone would feel anxious and would try every means to take a chance." Xingzou was directly infuriated by Yuntan's idea and shouted, "How many people have died because of the gamble you placed?" However, Yuntan jokingly replied, "Once the arrow is released, it cannot be taken back. Right now, I can only gamble one more time." After saying that, she directly pulled out the long sword inserted into Fengyu's body, releasing Black Spirit completely. Looking at the unsealed original form of Black Spirit in front of her, Yuntan said seriously, "Right now, we are not enemies but friends. If we don't deal with the people in front of us, you will also have no way out." And at this moment, Black Spirit seems to understand the meaning behind Yuntan's words. After letting out a strange cry, it slowly appeared behind Yuntan. Everyone was shocked to face this terrifying Black Spirit, except for Patriarch Xie, who faced everything with calmness. At this moment, Yuntan continued ironically saying, "Senior Mentor Xie, your cultivation level is superb, and I admit that I am not your match. However, it's currently 2-1. But before she could finish her sentence, a flash of lightning swept across Yuntan's face. Immediately, a phantom of the divine beast Qilin rose behind her. Amazed, she just turned her head to find Qilin manifestation tearing at the Black Spirit's phantom. Just a moment. The previously terrifying Black Spirit was completely destroyed in an instant. Yuntan, who was initially mocking, could not accept such a result. She took up the knife in her hand and threw it towards the crowd. However, just as the knife was about to touch Luo Xie effortlessly flicked the knife away with just a snap of his fingers. Seeing that the attack missed, Yuntan also activated his own special ability, the ceremonial artifact's mysterious light mirror, only to see extremely powerful spiritual rituals shooting out from the mirror. Wherever the light and shadow reached, rocks and stones flew in all directions. But in the face of such a strong attack, Luo Xie remains calm, only to see Patriarch forming a one-handed seal. Suddenly, a dazzling golden light emanated from him. The huge shadow of the earthly ritual's spiritual turtle, Sea Calming, appeared in front of him. No matter how Yuntan attacked, it remained immovable. The power gap was too huge, with no possibility of winning at all. Watching the almost despairing Yuntan Luo Xie, he did not hold back, only to see the front paw of the tortoise lifted directly. The giant paw, shining with golden light, fiercely patted towards Yuntan. Just heard a loud bang. After a single blow, Yuntan was completely destroyed. The scene changed. Fengyu, whose seal was released, had a soul floating out of his body. Seeing this scene, Xingzou sadly said, "It must be him, Fengyu." Patriarch Xie Fengyu was interrupted by Luo Xie before he could finish speaking. The moment the sword entered the body, life and death had already been decided. Immediately after that, Luo Xie cast a spell again, He gathered the scattered soul and spirit back together. After casting the spell, the soul indeed directly formed the illusion of Fengyu. He smiled and said, "It's Jixing, huh? I didn't expect us to meet like this. It seems like the malevolent qi of the black spirit has dissipated." And at this moment, Jixing Shu is already in tears. Yes, the black spirit has been destroyed. Yun Tan, who framed you, has also been brought to justice. Upon hearing this, Fengyu joked that you must not have been capable of doing this. You helped me thank the expert who eradicated the black spirit and Yun Tan. I originally wanted to thank in person, but it seems like I do not have the time now. Take care, good brother. It's a pity that we can't fight side by side anymore. You should focus on cultivating well and find a wife quickly. Have a big chubby boy. After speaking, Fengyu's soul shadow once again became elusive. The soul drifted towards the mountain. The soul feels the places it once lived in, the roads it once walked, the people it once guarded. For him, all the beauty in the world is worth it. Black spirit is destroyed. The heavens once again bestow the aura of merit. Luo Xie gathers the merit aura in his hands and blows it towards Fengyu, seeing the golden glow around Fengyu. Jixing Shu asked in confusion, "Patriarch, what is this?" A little bit of merit is what he deserves. It protects his Dao body from being disturbed by malevolent qi. Upon hearing Luo Xie's explanation, Jixing Shu said seriously, "You are considerate. I will thank Patriarch Fengyu on behalf of you. You and Manager Ma came all the way to the northern frontier. You are here for this blood essence yin-yang fish. I believe Fengyu is willing to help Manager Ma with it. I will take charge and give it to Manager Ma, but I need to document this spiritual object in the report to the higher-ups." Just then, Luo Xie took out a golden scale-shaped item from his chest and said, "The scales of the long horse were found there after dealing with Yun Tan. I have a use for this thing. I won't be polite with you. You can write the report however you want." Upon hearing this, Jixing Shu naturally understood. He immediately arranged for someone to accompany Luo Xie and Hoarfrost Ma back to Binhai City, while he stayed in the northern frontier to help with the aftermath. On the plane, Hoarfrost Ma was feeling emotional about everything that had happened in the past few days. It completely overturned her own understanding. Later, she looked over to Luo Xie, who was reading a book next to her, and asked, "What book are you reading? Is it a classic of Taoism?" And Luo Xie. He then picked up the brief history of the development of power engineering in his hand and said, "I just said, the world is vast. Understanding fields that you have never been in contact with. It's a different kind of joy." The scene shifts. Upon returning to his dwelling, Luo Xie immediately had Hoarfrost Ma close the two halves of the yin-yang fish and put it on. He saw Hoarfrost Ma putting on the blood essence yin-yang fish. Luo Xie directly cast Daoist spells, only to see streams of spiritual qi rushing towards the yin-yang fish. With the continuous infusion of spiritual power, Hoarfrost Ma's whole body is shrouded in spiritual qi. And the blood essence yin-yang fish has also become even more full of spirituality. After a moment, Luo Xie calmly said, "This time, the distance is magnified by 100 times compared to before. The range is now 10,000 meters." Upon hearing a distance of 10 kilometers, Hoarfrost Ma excitedly said, "Then I can go home. It's just that when it comes to business, many times you have to go to other places. It seems like I have to stay in Binhai City more often. It will be tough on my dad to go out all the time." Following that, Hoarfrost Ma said, "I dare not expect Master Xie from the Daoist sect to accompany me. I just hope that if you need to leave for a long journey, please inform me in advance. I will also intensify my efforts to investigate the whereabouts of Kei Yang, as you mentioned." I heard that Hoarfrost Ma offered to help find Kei Yang. Luo Xie reminded him to remember to assess his capabilities. "Don't let others find you before finding the Kei Yang, or you will be subjected to a second curse." Looking out of the window at night, Luo Xie thought that in a few days, a surge of spiritual energy should gather in the city. That would be the opportunity for Kei Yang to nurture the earthly scroll and to find him. As he finished speaking, he began to sacrificially refine the mortal emperor seal. As time passed, the sacrificial refinement process of the mortal emperor seal has reached 50%. This time going to the northern frontier unexpectedly yielded results. It has once again accelerated the sacrificial refinement of the mortal emperor seal. I won't say anything more. Let everyone continue watching. Yuna Group Chairman Ming Ye made a special visit to seek advice from Luo Xie on feng shui and ba zi. After both of them were seated, Luo Xie asked what they wanted to inquire about. Ming Ye said that last time we met, I discussed business with manager Ma. Presumably, Daoist Master Xie also heard about it. Yuna Group is in the porcelain business. This visit is because the group's subordinate porcelain shop has had some unusual occurrences. We would like to ask Daoist Master Xie to help check the feng shui. After listening, Luo Xie suddenly glanced at Ming Ye. He solemnly said, "No need to go to the porcelain shop. I don't have the time to run back and forth." A face with remarkable features. You are talented, have a straight nose bridge, and a smooth complexion. Your financial luck is smooth without obstacles, and your round and flat chin indicates no money leakage. Although your ears are not symmetrical, there may be a tendency for stubbornness. However, your current business should be fine. How would he know the situation of the porcelain shop? The details of my business in the shop? Horfrustma couldn't possibly know either. Ming Ye cleared his throat and asked softly, "Did Daoist Master Xie hear something from someone that caused a misunderstanding? I sincerely invited Daoist Master Xie to come to the shop to help take a look." Seeing that Ming Ye was unwilling to tell the truth, Luo Xie set down the teacup in his hand. "You are here to do business with Horfrostma or to establish a long-term relationship with Moon-Grasping Pavilion? President, yeah, you've got the wrong target. I can't influence his business, and he can't influence mine." Seeing Luo Xie instantly understand their own thoughts, Ming Ye immediately expresses goodwill. While Luo Xie, lost in thought, said, "So be it. Let me say one more thing. Your fate is not bad, but your luck has been terrible lately. Be careful with your personal safety to avoid a sudden turn in your destiny." Upon hearing this, Ming Ye was startled and immediately asked if they could explain further. "The blackening of your brow center may indicate a bloodshed disaster, and the situation at the corner of your eyes does not look good. Most of your misfortune likely stems from disharmony in your marriage." Luo Xie's words left Ming Ye completely persuaded. For a moment, Ming Ye didn't know what to say. After a long pause, Ming Ye slowly said, "My relationship with my wife is indeed not very harmonious, and I have been feeling unwell these days. Master Xie, do you think there is a way to help me?" Luo Xie replied, "Extend one finger into the tea water." Seeing this, although Ming Ye did not understand why he had to do this, he still did as he was told and extended his finger into the tea water. At this moment, Luo Xie pinched his fingers to form a seal, and streaks of thunder light appeared in the air. In less than a moment, a shadow of a divine turtle appeared, watching the tea water in his hand continuously churning. Ming Ye asked, "Master Xie, what is this?" "Your aura is disturbed. The most likely reason is instability in your long-term residency. The places you spend a lot of time in, like your office or home. Have you recently had someone feng shui your space?" Prompted by Luo Xie's reminder, Ming Ye suddenly brought up the topic of bedroom furniture and decorations. "Have you recently rearranged their placement? Does this count? Can you roughly sketch the layout for me to see?" After a moment, looking at the sketched bedroom layout, Luo Xie remarked, "It's indeed unusual. Take me directly to your house to see it in person." The scene suddenly shifts. When they arrive outside the house, Luo Xie asked, "Where exactly is your house located?" Ming Ye replied, "Qingchuan Town Pure Creek Garden." Looking at the route map on his phone, Luo Xie felt a headache coming on. He immediately dialed Horfrostma's number. "I'm heading to Qingchuan Town Pure Creek Garden now. Join me if you'd like. he said. At that moment, Hoarfrost Ma on the other end was completely speechless. After entering the address Luo Xie had mentioned, she was directly stunned by the distance displayed above. Quick! Tell the driver to prepare the car. I want to go out immediately. Upon arriving at the destination, Luo Xie followed Ming Ye's guidance and headed towards the upstairs bedroom. After entering the room, Luo Xie carefully observed the surroundings and decorations. However, when he looked towards a certain direction, he was attracted by something in front of him. Seeing Daoist Master Xie silent, looking at an object on the wall, Ming Ye smiled and said that this mask and that ancient coin were bought from Manager Ma's moon-grasping pavilion. And at this moment, Luo Xie discovered that the layout of the room is actually the secret method of Wudang. Although someone has reversed the layout, converting its original positive effects into a malevolent spell of entrapment and killing, the foundation remains unchanged. At this moment, Ming Ye asked how Daoist Master Xie was doing. However, Luo Xie did not respond to Ming Ye's words. Instead, he picked up the antique pistol beside him. He asked if there is gunpowder inside. Ming Ye replied, "It looks like a gun, but it's actually a lighter." After listening to Ming Ye's words, Luo Xie said, "It really integrated malevolent qi. The perfectly fine 3 golds overcoming evil was transformed into Gong Golden Death Strike." However, right after speaking, Luo Xie used Wudang mysticism to inspect the arrangement of furniture in the room. The triangle is stable, but the triangle's sharpness transformed 5 elements into metal. Even the 3 wooden items arranged are the manifestation of Gong metal. The focus is not on the plants inside the 3 potted plants, but on the soil inside. 3 earths transformed into metal, the humidifier in the bathroom, and the fish tank. 3 waters transformed into metal. The window faces south. When the sun is at its peak during the day, combined with these 2 things, the manifestation of 3 fire transformed into metal has also emerged. Finally, 3 golden transformed into metal is the ultimate. Luo Xie's words made Ming Ye aware that this matter seems very complicated. At this point, Luo Xie continued to say, "Among the 5 elements, metal conquers with the 3 golds overcoming evil formation. It is actually a method to help eliminate entanglements caused by wooden malevolence. However, if the homeowner's fate is originally wood elemental, then it would not be appropriate. Although I don't know your birth date and time, you are most likely of wood elemental fate." Upon hearing this, Ming Ye clearly understood something. Since metal conquers wood, it is clear that there are significant issues with the decorations in the house. At this moment, Luo Xie returned the imitation gun to its original position and said, "The 5 elements generate and conquer each other. But here all elements are metal, like iron chains completely sealing off qi. A comprehensive conquers person with wood elemental fate. It's a sign of no way in heaven or earth. This is likely a setup carefully arranged by a dark sorcerer who has a certain level of skill based on your birth chart. This is meant to kill you without a trace. Only my wife knows my birthday, including the specific time of birth. She is the one who arranged the furnishings in the house." At this moment, Ming Ye has already understood everything. At this point, Luo Xie mentioned inviting her to come back for a discussion. I see that she is very well informed. I am somewhat interested in this dark sorcerer that he is teaching. Watching Ming Ye finish communicating with his wife on the phone, Luo Xie said seriously, "After the guests arrive later, I won't show myself at first. Just follow my instructions. Don't panic." The scene changed, and a stylish and well-proportioned young woman got out of a sports car. This person, named Lin Shu, is Ming Ye's wife. Upon seeing his wife return, Ming Ye shouted for her to come up first, as he needed to discuss something with her. Seeing Ming Ye in such a hurry, Lin Shu did not waste any words and headed towards the 2nd floor. However, as soon as she walked into the balcony, she was shocked by the scene in front of her. I saw Ming Ye standing on the balcony railing. In front of her, he jumped directly off. This series of actions surprised Lin Shu greatly. She hurriedly checked on Ming Ye, who was lying motionless on the ground. Lin Shu, who was Ming Ye's wife, unexpectedly smiled strangely. Immediately, she took out her phone and said to the person on the other end of the line, "Hurry up! He has fallen to his death!" A moment later, a blond man in a suit with glasses arrived at the scene. He is an assistant named Qing Haifang Ming Ye. At this moment, Qing Haifang was looking around in all directions. He saw that there was no one else around and walked towards the house. However, as soon as he entered the house, he was hugged by Lin Shu, who rushed over. "Luckily you were nearby. You came so quickly." At this moment, Qing Haifang, who was completely unaware, asked what was going on. Lin Shu said, "Don't worry. He fell to his death on his own. I absolutely did not touch him." Unexpectedly, that female Taoist looks young and beautiful, but her skills are quite powerful. She simply rearranged things inside the house, yet it can really cause someone's death. It seems that we cannot renege on the conditions we agreed to with her. Once we obtain control of the group, we will transfer the porcelain factory in the western suburbs to her right away. Qing Haifang on the side asked, "Are we safe in this room now?" "Of course we're safe. This setup is specifically for people like Ming Ye with a wood elemental fate. Neither of us are, so we're safe." Upon hearing Lin Shu say it's safe, Qing Haifang still cautiously suggested, "We should leave as soon as possible to avoid suspicion." However, Lin Shu insisted, "It's better to wait a little while longer. The floor is too low. I'm afraid he hasn't completely died out yet." He was unlucky to have just broken his neck. Even if he doesn't die, he's almost as good as dead. No one harmed him. It was his own carelessness. Looking in front of him, with fair skin and a beautiful appearance, Lin Shu was already ecstatic about obtaining control of the company. Just as they were about to approach, the lights in the room suddenly went out. Startled, the two quickly looked up, only to see a figure floating in the air. Qing Haifang then looked with a light from his phone, and it turned out to be Ming Ye, who had just fallen from the building. At that moment, the two were both shocked to the core. On the side, Lin Shu even ran quickly to the balcony. She hurriedly checked the body on the ground. Watching the ghost of Ming Ye chasing after him, Lin Shu shouted, "Who are you? What can you do if you turn into a filthy thing? I will have the immortal maiden collect you." Just at that moment, a strange voice sounded. So it was like that. Just as there was a swishing sound, the scene around me changed suddenly. As the mist faded away, the figures of Luo Xie and Ming Ye also appeared. The two of them looked at the Ming Ye, who was right in front of them. Qing Haifang hurriedly looked downstairs. The body was gone. At this moment, Luo Xie said mockingly, "Both the beautiful dream and the nightmare can end now." It turned out that all of this had been Luo Xie's earthly ritual's dreamlike immortal realm. Seeing his trick exposed, Lin Shu turned the tables and shouted at Luo Xie, "It was you colluding with Ming Ye to play a trick on us just now. Was it a hallucinogen? What did you make us drink?" Faced with Lin Shu's actions, Luo Xie closed his eyes and whispered, "Ignorance is not a crime, but you are too noisy." Ming Ye on the side cursed. "Clearly the two of you colluded with someone, pretending to be mysterious and trying to harm me." "President Ye, you misunderstood. This place is not normal. We are trapped by illusions." Looking at the cunning face of Qing Haifang Ming Ye in front of me, I am angry to the extreme. I didn't misunderstand at all. Soon, a sound of footsteps came. A large number of bodyguards rushed over. The situation in front of Lin Shu scared him quite a bit. He shouted directly, "What do you want to do? If you dare to touch me, I will report to the police immediately." Seeing this scene, Ming Ye took out his phone directly. He opened the pre-saved recording and played the conversation where Lin Shu asked someone to harm Ming Ye in front of Qing Haifang. At this moment, Ming Ye said again, "You want to report to the police? Perfect. That's exactly what I have in mind." However, Lin Shu at this moment seemed to be in a bad mood. Sarcastically he said, "Say whatever you want, Let's see how many people will believe you. Besides, you have nothing on you right now. Where is your injury? Seeing the situation deadlocked, Luo Xie took out his phone and said, I also agree to call the police. He then dialed Ying Zhao's phone number and briefly explained today's events to her. Luo Xie thought that the female Taoist in charge of arranging the formation might be an illusion created by Ke Yang to deceive them, or she could be a woman related to him. But the secret method he uses to harm people is derived from the authentic spiritual rituals of the Daoist sect, distorted and transformed, which aligns with what Ke Yang learned back then. Nowadays, it's rare to come across a new lead. The investigation bureau will definitely scrutinize this Lin Shu and the people she has been in contact with these days. After ending the call, Luo Xie calmly said, Keep an eye on that person. Soon, someone came to take them away. Seeing that the situation was irreversible, Lin Shu's heart sank like it had plunged into the sea. On the side, Xing Haifan awkwardly said, President Nye, please give me a chance to explain. Things are not like that. However, before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Ming Nye. We will talk later. Watch over the two of them. At this moment, Luo Xie walked alone to the middle of the bedroom and pinched his fingers to form a seal, only to see lightning falling around his body. The whole room was buzzing with the sound of electricity. Immediately afterwards, everyone heard a click. The gunmetal death strike formation in the bedroom was then broken. You handle the remaining matters yourself. Remember to abide by the law. I do not want to be called in by the relevant authorities as a person related to the case. Ming Nye naturally understood Luo Xie's words. Then, she said earnestly, Daoist Master Xie, rest assured. I can remain calm. Thank you for your help this time. The corresponding reward will definitely not disappoint you. Luo Xie then casually said as he walked. Feel free to do as you please. It seems that I won't have to worry about the issue of fictitious rent for the next 1 or 2 months. This statement left Ming Nye truly puzzled. At this point, Luo Xie asked again, What's the deal with that western suburbs magnetic kiln Lin Shu mentioned earlier? And have you heard of that female Taoist? Ming Nye replied, I am certainly familiar with the western suburbs magnetic kiln. It produces over 50% of the porcelain for our Yunhe group. It can be said to be the foundation of our group. As for that female Taoist, I have never heard of her. Upon hearing this, Luo Xie said, Since that's the case, I'll go take a look at the western suburbs porcelain kiln first. After saying that, he asked Ming Nye to send over the address. However, when Luo Xie saw the distance displayed on the phone, he immediately became unsettled. The straight line distance is 12 kilometers. The scene immediately changes. A luxury car is speeding down the road. After receiving a phone call, Ma Xiaoba in the car immediately heads to Clearstream Garden in Qingchuan town, where Luo Xie is located. She just found out that it's less than a kilometer away. She then said to the driver that they would not go to Clearstream Garden. Stop at the tea house in front. I'll have a cup of tea. After entering the tea house, Hoarfrost Ma took out his phone and waited for Luo Xie's next instructions. Not long after, a waiter quickly brewed a pot of tea and brought it over. Looking at the tea in the cup, Hoarfrost Ma was about to taste it. The phone in his hand rang. When he took a closer look, it was a call from Patriarch Xie. I have resolved the matter on my end. Now I am going to a new place. I have sent you the address. After listening to the content of the phone call, indeed. Hoarfrost Ma went on a rampage directly. What? You're moving again. I just sat down here. Aren't you deliberately teasing people? Luo Xie did not say that I was messing with you. I was just reminding you of my schedule out of friendship. As for what you want to do, it's up to you. However, just as Hoarfrost Ma was about to continue speaking, the phone was already hung up by Xie Luo. Seeing this, Hoarfrost Ma had to enter the new location again. When he saw the distance, he almost cried. This is another location more than 10 kilometers away. Immediately, she took out a stack of cash. After putting it down, she hurriedly ran outside. At this moment, the waiter was left bewildered by Hoarfrost Ma's swift movements. "Miss, you haven't even taken a sip of your tea yet." Looking at the untouched tea on the table, the waiter asked in surprise, "Is it brewed poorly?" As the scene shifted, Luo Xie had just stepped outside when he heard a ding sound.